Hey guys, welcome to the Boss Podcast, which stands for Bridal Owner Success Stories. And today in the studio from Louisiana, I have the owner, Nikki Vu. Thank you for being here, Nikki.
Yes, it's a pleasure being here. I'm so excited for today's conversation.
Me too. So I have known you for several years now, and I'd love for people to know about your store, how it got started, and the name of it, and what town you're in, and all the things, because it's just been so incredibly like like, I would just say inspiring to watch the 14 years of, progression of you owning the store and how it's grown so much over that time frame. So, tell us 14 years ago, what kinda happened with the start of your store, and tell everybody the name of it.
I co-own Blush Bridal Salon. We're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And really, the story began. So my two sisters, actually had three older sisters, but my sister Anna Samantha, they had an idea of wanting to open up a boutique. And at the time, the shopping center that my mom's alteration shop was in, it was a vacant opening right next door, and it used to be a nail salon, surprisingly. And so we took over that spot, and my sisters and my mom actually went to Dallas Market at the time, and they just decided we're going to do this. And it actually started out as a formal shop, and a couple years later, it evolved into bridal. But actually, when Blush opened, I wasn't really involved at all. I was actually a senior in high school and ready to graduate and entering into my college era. And I started working at Blush part time, and I had a long college career because I had a lot of changes, a lot of didn't really know what I wanted to do. But I had the opportunity to work with my sisters, and they gave me the opportunity to travel with them to bridal markets. We went to Dallas, Chicago, all over the place, and that is something that I really started to really love. And I had a whirlwind of a college career, but I eventually graduated in fashion merchandising. But what was really cool about that is when I finally found what I wanted my degree to be in, I was learning, but also experiencing at the same time, which I think is a really rare experience a lot of, I guess, college students get. But yeah, so that's where I was at. I was on a way different path in life, and I really had big dreams. When you're young, you want to leave your hometown and go to a big city and live out that life. But my sisters were like, everything that you learn, why don't you bring that to Blush? And so I joined them full time in 2020, and that's where I'm at today.
Wow. Okay, what a year to join them.
Yes. I mean, yeah, 2020, that's actually when I graduated college. I was in college for 7 years, and I was actually in nursing school. And that was just like an aha moment when I was trying to get into clinicals. And I just realized, like, this is not a, career that I really wanted to pursue. And so I really had to, talk to the parents and let them know, like, this is the new route that I wanted to go into. And of
Were
course,
they happy? I know your sisters were happy, but what did your parents feel about it all?
so they definitely were, I would say, disappointed. I think when you have Asian parents, it's very stereotypical of wanting your children to go into the healthcare field. And, I have a lot of, my sister's a pharmacist, my other sister's a doctor. And that was kind of like the route. And of course, you never want to disappoint your parents, but I just, had to really stand up for myself and tell them, like, this is my game plan and this is what I really wanted to do. And I guess having, older sisters too, they were also like my second moms. And so they supported me in this decision. So the transition was definitely easy. And of course, I think every parent, they just, want your children to be successful in their own way and have their own thing. But yeah, so me and my oldest sister, Samantha, we do this together. And over the years, our positions have changed, they evolved, and she's taken a big step back. And so the last, I would say, 3 years have really propelled me forward to really take on and hopefully bring our business to the next level. So, and that's really when I joined Boss.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was about
I mean, and you have taken the business to the next level in the last few years, don't you think?
I would have to say yes. I feel like, it definitely was a lot of backpedaling in a way to get systems and things like put in place and really sit down with each other. And also, I guess part of that was also like my personal growth, my personal journey because I was so much younger and am so much younger than my sisters. And, there was a lot of learning and growing for me to do personally and just like a lot of figuring out. But I figured it out, and we had many conversations about what our roles were and what my vision was for the company and not just their vision. And that really helped me, create a new game plan for our store and where we want to go and the new
Well, and
things.
you guys maturing too, like, I mean, you were the baby sister, so it's kind of, like, hard to say, "Okay, yeah, take charge of it all," when they don't know how much you know. And so, you have grown so much just even in the years I've known you, just understanding the business and how it all works. And now they trust you. They fully, it sounds like they're like, yeah, you take it and run with it because you're making it more profitable than we've ever made it?
100%. Like I guess, in a way, when you are so much younger, you don't know exactly like where your place is yet. And you don't know what all the things that you can bring to the table. But of course, over the years, I found my value. And through a lot of just education and learning and, implementing new ways. And I think this year specifically has been like just a pivotal moment in our business because obviously like next year we're turning 15 years and I still can't believe like Blush has been a part of for half of my life now. But it was just really having those hard conversations with them and having them understand like my point of view and now really this year I've been making, a lot of decisions, smart decisions on my own and running things by them and just making sure they're okay with the things that I want to do and I've gotten to be okay with a lot of things and my sister Samantha, she's definitely seen the growth that we had this year and the profitability, which has been really important, our margin. So those are things that she also had to learn as well. And now that she's really seeing the fruits of our labor, I guess I could say, it's really making a big difference for all of us. So I'm really proud.
And I know they're so proud of you too. When I got to meet them at market, they were just like, "She's doing so great. We are so proud of our sister." And, it's one thing to learn how to do the things, but you have to go home and do it. And you have done that, Nikki. You have gone home and you've done the work and you've implemented the things. And I'm just so proud of you. And I know they are too. So, the best is yet to come for Blush for sure. Like, this is exciting
100%.
times.
Yes.
So exciting times. Okay, so I am kind of curious if we could go back a little bit to what you thought working in bridal would be like and then versus the reality of what it is. Because sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, that's just going to be so fun. And then they get into it. And I think it's cool to talk about in this show. Like, what are some of the biggest surprises that you didn't even realize when you were like, oh, I'm going to sell wedding dresses? But like, what are some things that maybe caught you off guard and were like, I didn't think about the fact that fill in the blank. It could be good or bad.
Yes. Let's think. I will say what surprised me the most, I guess if we go all the way back when we first started, is um, gosh, I'm trying to think of all the things. Let's see. I guess the biggest surprise for me was managing people. And that was something that when Blush started, I was like their first employee essentially. And actually my one of my good friends was our very first employee. So I think it was just the biggest surprise is yes, you can open up a business, you can do all the things. It's beautiful, you can post all the pretty photos, but it's more of like the business sides of things that you really have to figure out. And I think the biggest thing for me was just like managing and learning how to be like come alongside them and be their friend, help motivate them, but also be a boss and delegate things out to them and trying to figure out like where that fine balance was. Because I think a lot of times as owners, like we want to, you know, be in the know. We want to get to know them, but also to make sure that things don't get too comfortable and that they're not going to overstep those boundaries that you need to set in place. So I guess it was really more like boundaries, like figuring out like what I could do, what other people, like how people spoke to me, how I spoke to them, and for me too. It was like learning um, how to listen to people and how people should take information from me. And I realized too over the years that not everyone, learns the same way or experiences things the same way. So it was really something that I had to take a step back and really talk to each individual on my team at the time and even today, like, how do you learn? How do you receive information? So I feel like that for me was like one of the biggest surprise. I think my whole life I worked, I feel like my sisters, my parents, they kind of like were my managers in a way. And I kind of just like listened and did things. And when I got into this role, I had no experience with managing people. And so I really had to like take classes. I had to, like, do research. I had to do all the things to, like, figure out, like, what is my leadership style? What does that look like? And what kind of leader do I wanna be in boss? How do I communicate to people? So I feel like that for me was one of the biggest surprises when, your professional life can also be very different from your everyday and your personal and how you
Well,
act.
and I don't think there are not very many people that set out to be an entrepreneur that really necessarily come in fully equipped to be an incredible leader or an incredible boss. It's not like there's a class on that inside of if you got a degree in business, they're not teaching you the practical how to be a boss every day. And those are really tricky situations that we kind of evolve into and we got to learn sometimes the hard way. Um, do you have any funny stories over the years of um, I just couldn't believe this happened, or it was such a crazy moment, and I'm so glad I'm on the other side because I can laugh about it now. And it could have been in your leadership, it could have been between your sisters and you, it could have been maybe misunderstanding, oh, what how this works. But do you have any funny stories that you can just kind of like in the moment, it felt like such a big deal, and now you're like, I can laugh at it when I look back.
Yeah, I mean, there's been definitely a lot of
Probably 1,000, right?
there's literally so many. Um But, gosh, I'm having, like, one that really stands out to me. I guess, like, I had a bride that, came in and I mean, I always these are, like, customer service issue things, that would have come up, and I had a bride that came in, and this was, like, years and years ago, and, she came in, and she goes, "This isn't the dress that I ordered," and I was like, "Oh my god." Like, I had a moment where I was, like, literally you have that moment like, "Oh my god, like, did we not order the right dress, the right color, anything like that?" And literally she goes, "Haha, I'm just kidding." And, and in that moment, as an owner, you just like, "Oh my god, like, did I order the wrong dress? Like, did we not? Like, is the style number wrong?" And this is a bride that it was not my bride, so of course I might had no idea what dress she had originally
You're like
sent me.
freaking out.
I was, like, in there freaking out, and I was, like, in my mom, like, "Hey, what do we do?" And just a couple minutes later, she goes, "Haha, I'm just kidding. I'm just joking with you guys." And I'm like, "Okay, like, not that I don't know who you are." And, like, we don't know each other, we're not friends, and she's just, like, joking with me, and, like, when I look back at, like, moments like that, I'm like, sometimes, like, okay, it really isn't that serious, but as a business owner, you're just like, "Okay, what are all the things? Like, what are the solutions? How do we fix this problem?" But yeah, so when I look back at that, I laugh at that now, but in the moment, I was probably dying inside.
I can only feel it, and I can't believe she would joke about that, but there have been moments that's probably been a real life situation for many of us that's actually happened to us before, where we put the wrong name on a dress or, um, let's just say the style number on the tag was off by 1 number, so we ordered the wrong style. I mean, this is real things that happen inside a bra store, but all you can do is be honest and be like, "Oh my goodness, this is not the one you wanted. I totally agree. Let me get that other one rushed for you. We'll fix it." Like, we'll make a plan. We'll totally make a plan. Okay, and then when you think about the future, what are some things you're really excited about for our industry, for bridal, or for your store in particular? Like, what are some things that you're like, I just look forward to the next 20 years? Because I mean, you got a long run ahead of you, Nikki, or Yanta. You already been doing it for a long time, but like because you're young, like you have so much more future ahead of you. What are things you're excited about?
Yes. So I would say before I get to the excitement part, I would say like 2 years ago, like my sister and I, we kind of had like a moment where like, is this something that we want to continue to do? Because I wouldn't say like we were necessarily struggling, but it was just hard years for us. But in the last 2 years, I feel like we flipped that script and we started to focus on the positive things, the small things. And I can speak just for
I feel like when was that you had that real heart to heart?
I would say like 2022, 2023. Those were especially the end of 2023. That was like a pretty hard year. Even last year, we had a lot of ups and downs. And, me and my sister, we had a conversation like, all right, we're going to give this 2 more years. We're going to give it another year or so. And here we are 2 years later. And I can say I'm glad that we stuck it through because um, it's just having to reevaluate everything that you do and setting the right systems and implementing new things and really putting in the work and making sure your team is putting in the work is really important. And so, but I can say here we are at the end of 2025, and I'm very, very excited for our business for 2026. So, for our business in general, we're doing almost like a little mini brand refresh for 2026. We are actually going to have very defined brand colors, just branding in general. And so that's something that I've really been wanting to work on and we're finally doing it. We are just kind of elevating and just refining. My word of 2026 is refinement. This year was elevate. So next year we're gonna just refine the things that we do in our business and we're updating like our website, new imagery, just really trying to elevate our overall brand for Blush and what that means to us and our vision, our new path for the next 5 years. But I'm just really excited to see the growth in our business and seeing how the systems that we put in place this year and how that's going to change our future for the next few years. And I'm just really excited to honestly see where it goes and excited to see my new leadership. I guess I could say that in the business. Like, really, this is my first year that I'm really starting to take things on and really make business decisions on my own. And so I'm just really excited to see how that goes for the next year. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, I have another question for you, and this will be kind of my last one. But being that you've been doing it for a long time, it's been in the family, everybody's been doing this job. It's like not just, oh, we started a year ago. How do you stay, because I love the listeners, the audience listening, how do you stay fresh and excited to serve brides and stay, just kind of in a good mindset when you are doing this every week? And sometimes it can feel like, you know, Groundhog's Day or something, like doing it over and over. So, like, what are some specific things that Nikki Vu does to like stay fresh and in her game?
Number one thing, I was actually thinking this the other day, and in general, my personality, I'm a very like self-motivated person. I know not every person is like that. But I would say the number one thing is never stop learning. I feel like even though I'm still so young, I've really invested in myself to just do personal things that I enjoy, but also learning how to be better at whatever I want to become better at. And I feel like that has been a really important thing for me is just trying to do new things and also take a day off if you need to take a day off, and just sometimes sit with your own thoughts and feelings and figuring it all out before you go out. Because I will say, even with doing this for so long, there were times when we were just running on empty. We felt very burnt out because we were trying to do all the things and be all the things. But now I feel like we've simplified our business in a lot of different ways and we're just focusing on one task at a time versus trying to juggle it all. And I feel like for me, that's worked the best to keeping myself fresh and even my team motivated. And I'll say the other thing too is set your goals, set a budget, set a goal, set real defined guidelines for whatever that you're trying to do. Because when you have those guardrails, it helps you to become just helps you make better decisions about everything in your life. And for me, that's what I've been doing for the last couple years now. And I feel like that has really set me free and just made me a better person overall, but a better leader. I can show up for just all the different areas of people in my life. So yeah, I would say those are probably the two most important things is set your goals, whatever boundaries that you need, and just continue to learn about whatever that it is that you want to learn, your passions, your business, leadership, entrepreneurship, anything. Just go out there and do it and read and listen and find things that you enjoy because I feel like that's what keeps me going. I can't say that like 2 years ago, but here I am 2 years later and these are things that I've done and they've been very, very, very helpful. And I'm very I can say like I'm happy. I'm moving forward. I
You enjoy your business now. It's not just a hobby and it pays the bills and it's like, okay, this is good.
yes, 100%. Yep. That's
Oh, I'm
great.
so proud of you guys. I'm so proud. That's great advice too. That's really, wise advice for people that are feeling burnt out, which is totally normal.
Yep.
But take a day, keep making goals, stay engaged in your business, and when you need time for a mental break, pause.
Yep. You summed it right up.
Okay. Okay. Well, Nikki, if people want to see your store, see your website, go to your Instagram, where can they find you?
Yes. So our Instagram is just at Blush Bridal Salon and our website is blushvr.com. And that's it.
Okay, because Baton
Mhm.
Rouge,
Yeah,
go
Baton Rouge.
Tigers.
Yep. Go Tigers.
I love it. Okay, well, so fun having you on the show today. I look forward to releasing this episode and encouraging hopefully some really awesome bridal shop owners as well. So thanks, Nikki. We'll see you soon.
Bye. Thanks, Mindy.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Bridal Owner Success Stories. I hope you found some inspiration and encouragement for your own career in the bridal industry. If you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. We are in this together.